mean, I've read so many football books by footballers, as you say, that are all about football matches. They played in this game and they won that game, and they nearly won that game and they went here to play in that match. I haven't wrote a football book about that as such.
He was a nightmare to beat. That's what Emlyn Hughes, the man called Crazy Horse, wanted to explain. Hughes didn't just admire any player, he studied greatness. When he named his 7 favourite footballers, he wasn't just listing names, he was building a blueprint for true excellence. These were the standards he measured himself against. So who were they? Let me take you through the list that changed how Hughes understood the beautiful game. If you love these football legends and old school stories, tap the hype feature right now and give this video some real love. It helps us keep bringing you untold tales from the golden age of football. Let's get into it. Number 7. Alan Ball, the man with white boots and a tiger's heart. Ball was one of the youngest players on England's 1966 World Cup winning team, and Hughes absolutely adored him. They were close friends, bonded through the England squad, understanding each other in a special way. Ball had what Hughes called fire in his belly. Those white boots weren't just fashion, they were confidence, a psychological statement. Ball combined technical skill with an uncompromising physical presence that refused to back down from anyone on the pitch. Hughes saw Ball as the heartbeat of every team he played for, whether it was Blackpool, Everton, or Arsenal. This was a true winner, someone who refused to accept defeat or intimidation. That tenacity, that tiger-like work rate and aggression, that's what Hughes believed set the elite apart from everyone else. Number 6. Kenny Dalglish. When Kevin Keegan left Liverpool in 1977, Hughes thought the world had ended. He feared losing the spark that ignited the team's engine. But then Kenny Dalglish arrived from Celtic, and Hughes immediately recognised something different, something cerebral. Dalglish wasn't trying to replace Keegan's raw energy, he was an upgrade in vision and strategic execution. Hughes described it perfectly. Dalglish could see passes before the man making the run even knew where he was going. That level of spatial awareness was almost impossible to mark, because his thinking was incisive and decisive. Dalglish brought metronomic passing and constant availability that made him the focal point of a new tactical era. The team shifted from high-octane pressing to patient, possession-oriented play that would dominate Europe. Dalglish proved that greatness comes in different forms, and Hughes respected that deeply. Number 5. George Best. This cut against the grain. Hughes played for Liverpool, Best played for Manchester United. They were rivals, intense rivals. Yet Hughes harboured deep appreciation for Best's talent that transcended club loyalty. Hughes said marking Best was like trying to catch a ghost. Best had a low centre of gravity, combined with the ability to change direction at full speed. He did things with the ball that shouldn't have been physically possible. Hughes admitted Best was a nightmare to play against, but a joy to watch. That's the mark of true respect. The ability to admire an opponent's greatness even when you're trying to stop them. Best represented the uncontrollable variable in football, a player who could dismantle a carefully constructed plan through a single moment of individual genius. Best brought continental flair to the English First Division and forced defenders to develop more sophisticated ways of reading the game. Number 4. Bobby Moore. While Pele was the ultimate offensive challenge, Bobby Moore represented the defensive ideal. Hughes played alongside Moore for England and frequently cited him as the greatest defender in the world. What captivated Hughes was Moore's calmness under pressure. Hughes admitted he occasionally lacked this trait during his impulsive, crazy horse moments. Moore was playing chess while others played a physical battle. Hughes noted that Moore read the game like he'd written the script himself. This suggested an unparalleled ability to predict the match's trajectory. Moore's greatness came from positional intelligence and an economy of movement. He was the coolest man in the stadium, providing stabilizing influence. Hughes credited Moore with teaching him that defending is about psychological warfare and spatial management as much as physical confrontation. Moore's composure in the highest stakes environments set a leadership standard. Number 3. Pele. Facing Pele during the 1970 World Cup in Mexico was transformative for Hughes. The Brazilian king operated on what Hughes could only describe as a different metaphysical plane. In the heat of Guadalajara, Hughes watched Pele make the impossible look effortless. To Hughes, Pele was a god on that pitch. He observed that you would try to tackle him, and he'd already be 3 steps ahead. This showed Pele's superior cognitive processing speed and spatial awareness. For Hughes, who prided himself on tackling ability, Pele's ability to bypass these strengths through sheer intellectual dominance was a revelation. Pele's presence on the field altered behavior of everyone around him. He forced defenders like Hughes into a state of hyper-alertness. Hughes believed that truly great players don't just play the game, they dictate its rhythm and psychological climate, shaping the entire contest. Number 2. Billy Wright. While Keegan was the contemporary peer, Billy Wright shaped Hughes's early development. Growing up in Barrow-in-Furness, Hughes idolized the Wolverhampton legend. Wright was the man he wanted to be. He was the first player in world football to reach 100 international caps, a feat of consistency Hughes viewed with immense reverence. Wright maintained dignity and poise in an era of rugged, sometimes brutal physical play. Hughes observed that Wright had a way of leading that made every player stand 2 inches taller. This wasn't based on intimidation, it was based on setting an impeccable example. The connection came full circle in February 1980, when Wright participated in the "This Is Your Life" tribute to Hughes at Molineux. Hughes had joined Wolves, following in the footsteps of his idol. Wright's presence at that ceremony symbolized a continuity of leadership within English football history. Number 1. Kevin Keegan. For Hughes, Keegan was more than a teammate. He was the primary catalyst for Liverpool's transition into a high-intensity, modernised unit. Keegan arrived at Anfield from Scunthorpe United in 1971, and Hughes frequently cited his work rate as the gold standard for any aspiring professional. The bond between them was telepathic. Hughes would make his trademark crazy horse runs from deep positions, knowing Keegan would be in position to exploit the space created. Keegan never knew when to quit. This trait fostered a collective belief the squad was unbeatable. Keegan's willingness to press from the front relieved pressure on midfield and defence, allowing Hughes to operate with greater creative freedom. During 1972-73, this partnership was instrumental in Liverpool securing their first league and UEFA Cup double, a feat that signalled their continental ascendancy. These 7 players form a mosaic of footballing excellence. Through Hughes's descriptions, we see the sport not just as a game of skill, but as a complex interplay of character, intelligence, and physical sacrifice. Hughes himself was the glue that held these disparate elements together in the teams he captained. He combined the work rate of Keegan, the dignity of Wright, the vision of Dalglish, and the tenacity of Ball to become the most successful captain in Liverpool's history. That's why his opinions mattered. When Emlyn Hughes spoke of greatness, he did so from the perspective of someone who achieved it himself. His legacy wasn't just trophies and caps, it was an enduring appreciation for the greatness of others. Like this video, subscribe, and comment which legend was your favorite.